Hello, everyone. Welcome to Just for the Love of Reading, where we read books to inspire, motivate, and empower. Today's book in our book club series is titled Something Blue by Emily Giffin. So, this novel comes after the book Something Borrowed, and that I did a book club series review on my YouTube channel. I'll leave the link below, and you can check that out before you watch this one. So Something Blue by Emily Giffin falls into the following genres: contemporary fiction, it's a romance novel, women's fiction, and psychological fiction. The characters in this novel are Darcy, our novel's protagonist, and Ethan, her longtime friend. And the supporting characters include Darcy, her former best friend, Dex, her former fiance, and her mother. Our novel's protagonist, Darcy, is at a new chapter in her life. So basically, she ends her engagement with her fiance, Dex, and her friendship with her longtime friendship with her best friend, Rachel, no longer exists, right? So we know that from the book Something Borrowed that her fiance and her best friend were seeing each other behind her back, and when she found out about it, it just ended her relationship with them altogether. But to add to that, Darcy was also in a relationship with one of Dex's friends, her fiance's friend, and this is where she's at right now, right? So those relationships are over. She's in a new stage in her life where she is expecting a child with Marcus, the man that she was cheating on Dex with. So she's at a new chapter in her life. She's expecting a child. She's with her boyfriend Marcus at the start of the story. But her whole world turns upside down when her relationship with Marcus does not work out. It doesn't go as she planned. And she is faced with a new reality of her life. When Darcy's happily ever after turns upside down, meaning her relationship with her Marcus does not work out, Darcy leaves the city and flees to London, England, to escape, recuperate, and re-strategize. Now, why does Darcy leave to London? Because her longtime friend Ethan lives there, and so she goes there to really sort out her feelings and figure out what she's going to do with her life. It is in London where Darcy faces the reality of her fate, unhealed wounds, and experiences a major transformation. So the major themes of this novel, from my perspective as a reader, are self-transformation, true friendship, and true love. So let's start with self-transformation. After some harsh words from her friend Ethan, Darcy is forced to look at herself and her behavior as well as her life choices. Darcy has always had the personality where her beauty, her charm, her influence have been able to get her by and get her through life, right? And she has a very persuasive personality. And she's reaching a point in her life where that is no longer working. In fact, it's actually turning people off from her. So Darcy is forced to re-examine herself and really look at the choices that she's made and really ask herself, what does she need to change about herself? And so this novel really does focus on Darcy's self-transformation and the way in which she's able to be honest with herself and make the necessary changes that she needs to make to basically accommodate the new life that she's about to have, right? Her old life is no longer existing. She's in a new phase in her life. She's in a new country. She's about to be a mother. And so there are things that Darcy is going to have to change and she's going to have to make in order to prepare and embrace this new chapter in her life. And the reader really sees Darcy do that right? We see her, you know, come to terms with herself and really decide and say, okay, I need to make a change in order to be happy and really do what I need to do to welcome my children into the world. So the reader is able to see that with Darcy. Another theme in this novel is friendship. Now, Darcy went through, the end of a friendship with Rachel, right after she finds out that Rachel was seeing her ex-fiance, right? And so the friendship ended. And for Darcy, that was really hard. That was her childhood friend, and that level of betrayal was something that she just had a hard time grappling and dealing with. And so she basically went through the stages of grief in regards to the end of her friendship with Rachel, right? She was filled with so many different emotions in terms of how her friend could do that to her, rightfully so. And so she was really having a hard time dealing with that, despite everything else that was going on in her life. And so that was a big, big part of Rachel's journey, right, in terms of dealing with that and finding a way to heal from that. So when she goes to London and ends up staying with Ethan, again, her childhood friend, she really does experience another level of friendship. Ethan is there for her in so many ways. He tells her the harsh truth, tells her what she needs to hear, and he doesn't abandon her during this time. He supports her, encourages her, and shows through his actions that he really is a true friend. And so even though Darcy lost a friend, a companion, a dependent in Rachel, we really see in this novel that her and Ethan's friendship really transformed into something deeper than it ever was before. And so she's really able to see a friend in Ethan and the fact that she can count on him through this time. And Ethan really does play a role in her life at this time when she really does feel abandoned by everyone in her life, right? From her best friend to her ex-fiance to even her mother, who she's at odds with. It's really Ethan who shows her that she's not alone and that she can count on him and find a friend in him. Another theme in this novel is true love. So throughout Darcy's journey, she comes to the realization that the men that she chose, specifically Dexter, was good on paper, right? A prestigious lawyer, very well-mannered, a family man, all that. She realizes that although he was good on paper and she could probably see the kind of future she would have with him, she just wasn't the one for her, right? And then she goes for Marcus, who she also realizes in time was not a good choice, right? He was not someone that she would be able to settle down and have a stable future with. And she comes to that realization in her journey. And then when she moves to London, she meets another gentleman who happens to be a doctor and who promises to shower her with the lifestyle and love and affection that Darcy is accustomed to and needs, right? Believes that she needs. And he's good to her, he treats her well. And then Darcy comes to the realization again that he is another man that is good on paper, but she doesn't really love him. And so this aspect is also part of Darcy's journey and level of self-transformation and really deciding what she really needs in a relationship, in a partner, in a man, as opposed to what she wants or what she's used to. And so she finds that in Ethan. And it's a beautiful journey, and the reader is able to see how their relationship goes through its stages and really transforms for the better. How was I empowered by this novel? I really love the way in which Darcy never lost hope, and she always believed in herself. No matter what situation she was in, no matter what she did, she never lost hope in the fact that she deserved to be happy and she deserved the best in life. And that was so empowering and so inspirational as a reader. Even when she got pregnant by Marcus, she still envisioned a beautiful life for herself. She still believed that he was going to or should give her the life that she deserved. And even though it didn't work out, she started off with a positive attitude and she started off with hope that it would work out. When it didn't work out, she still had belief that her life would be okay. When she made the decision to move to London, she envisioned a beautiful life for herself. She envisioned that she would meet someone who would love her and cherish her. And she never let her circumstances make her feel less than or that she didn't deserve a better life. And I loved that. No matter what situation she was in, she believed that she deserved the best, and she also believed that everything would work out for her. Really, really great to see in a character. And I also love the way that Darcy dreamed and visioned and visualized her life. She always had visualized how things would be for her. She always had a vision. She envisioned how her life would be with Marcus. She envisioned how she would live in London and that she would meet a man and who would love her and cherish her. And she really did manifest that in herself, right? She really did believe that she deserved the best. And she ended up manifesting that in herself, in her life, right? From when she met the doctor to even Ethan, right? She believed and she daydreamed and she envisioned a beautiful life for herself. And I just think that that was just so beautiful. And I think it's something that we can all do, right? Never stop dreaming, never stop visualizing the life that you want for yourself, right? Darcy to me has like a childlike wonder in her, right? Where, you know, when you're young and you're a child, you just dream about the life you want to have and you believe that anything is possible, right? And I think as an adult, it's hard to hold on to that, right? Because life happens and things happen and you really have to remember that there's hope. And as long as there's life, there's hope. And I just loved reading that Darcy never gave up on herself and always visualized and dreamed of a beautiful life for herself, no matter what situation she was in. And that to me just was super inspiring and empowering. So if you are looking for a novel that really deals or captures the things that women go through in our day-to-day lives, right? The contemporary woman from relationships to friendships to career choices to motherhood or the anticipation of motherhood to the different stages that a woman goes through in her life. I really do believe that Something Blue is the book for you. It really highlights a beautiful story of self-transformation and a reminder that anything is possible if you truly, truly believe. So, Something Blue by Emily Giffin. For those of you who have read it, tell me what you think. What were your thoughts on Darcy's transformation, her journey? What parts of the novel stood out to you? And what are your thoughts on the themes of self-transformation, true friendship, and true love? What are your thoughts on those themes? Please, I'd love to hear what you think, and please share your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.